Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Two Psychics. This is Michael Edley, evidential medium and mystic, discussing all things spiritual.
Hello, I'm Mary Amy of Two Psychics, an intuitive wisdom coach, tapping into your mystical life and sharing messages I receive about you.
Good evening, everyone. Michael Edley, psychic medium here. It is a lovely, wonderful day, and I am here with my fabulous co-host, Mary Amy. How are you, Mary Amy?
Hi, Michael. I'm wonderful. Welcome. Here we are, Two Psychics, episode 12, Love and Dreams. And everyone out there, we could not get on last week, and we apologize. You know, technology and producing, it's not always easy, and I stayed on for a full hour trying to get on, and I could not. So I apologize, but I'm grateful for everyone out there who has been patient and is here tonight listening.
It's given us a whole additional week to pull out all kinds of additional information about love and dreams. I think there are two very interesting topics, and before we get onto those topics, I just want to ask you, so what did you think about the magnificent eclipse, the solar eclipse we just went through?
Well, there was a lot of hoopla, and, you know, I was so wondering about how that was going to play out because the solar eclipse, and then they were warning everyone, and CERN was getting turned on, and 3 rockets from NASA were being shot up, and I actually sat outside and watched it by the water, you know, had those special glasses on, and it was kind of fun. It was very fun. A whole group of people from my town did the same thing, and we just spoke to strangers, you know, but they were actually friends. They're in our community. And to answer your question, it was fun. I had a great time for the solar eclipse.
Yeah, what I thought was really cool about it, I mean, put the hype and all the, you know, hysteria aside, the energy shift that you could actually feel when you were in the presence of the solar eclipse and it was actually occurring. Like I was out in my backyard, and even though we had some clouds, there was a period of time where I was able to get some great pictures. And there was one where I had a large hawk flying over, and I got a great shot of this hawk kind of flying under, what, you know, or the eclipse was this weird blue color it had turned. And that, you know, whether it was reflecting off the clouds or however I captured it. And if you go onto my Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley page on Facebook, if you go down, you know, to a day or two ago, I have some great shots on there from the eclipse from the Jersey Shore. And I found it really interesting, the shift that had occurred, and just hearing all the birds quiet down and just hearing the silence and everything become still. And what I was really fascinated by, and I heard another energy healer talking about this and talking about, we normally focus on the loud, the bright, the vibrant, things that are really in front of us, like the sun. The sun is very powerful. The sun is shining brighter than anything else. And how an object that was very quiet and very subdued, you know, the new moon, which is invisible, was able to cross in front and block it out and block, you know, the bright, higher presence of the sun. And, you know, it was really a discussion on going inward, understanding your energy and understanding that subdued quiet, more of an internal energy that is around and grounded and within all of us, that's present in a lot of the moon energy that we saw in that eclipse occur. And it's just, I think it was a time to really sit with that energy. You can reflect inward, and you can actually see the alternative power of the subdued, quiet, darker, hidden energy. You know, and I think that was what part of what was in this solar eclipse. So that was kind of a cool experience for me. You know, it's the first time in nature I felt such a drastic energetic shift in such a short period of time in several places. Like when I was in Lilydale, New York, Spiritualist Colony, they have what's called the stump. And this is one of the most ancient, older trees, I believe, in Northern America. And I believe this was an old Indian reservation, and this is sacred land, and they had preserved all this space, and now it's a spiritualist colony. They do, mediumship, psychic development. They're open for several months out of every summer season, and they open their colony or their little town to outsiders, and you can experience, all mediumship classes, workshops. They have a healing temple, just a really cool space and really cool energy. I felt a pretty significant energy shift when I spent time there. And this was the first time during that solar eclipse where I felt a significant energy shift like I had felt by the Lilydale Stump. So it was interesting, very interesting for me.
I felt like there was a transfer, a spiritual energy that took over, and there was a transfer of negative to positive within us. And on a personal level, some things rose up in me that I kind of were unexpected. And the last week, this break that we had, it's come forward even more so. So what I'm trying to say is it's like that, what we speak of, that ascension symptom, the dark night of the soul. And, it's when your demons are trying to persuade you, and that's a very extreme term, but I think each of us have aspects of us that we might not necessarily as much be shameful of, but you didn't say like, oh, I want that in me. Maybe it's a personality trait, maybe it's an experience, maybe it's a thought process. And for me, this moment of this solar eclipse, before and after, I felt this metamorphosis going on within me. I don't know if anyone out there, any of our viewers, had the same experience, but I have seen on a personal level with my family and friends a shift as well. There's more of an openness in their heart and their thoughts, and they are actually questioning things more. So it definitely had a defining moment that day that did do something, and it was subtle, but it was there.
Yeah, I think we could feel an elevation or some type of resonation of like the frequencies and the energy. You definitely felt some type of shift occur, which was really cool. And where we can kind of go with this and where I'm leading into is the frequency of love. And if we're talking about energy and shift and vibrations, the highest vibration and the highest frequency is the frequency of love. And it's interesting because I think what we saw with this shift and with the solar eclipse was people actually being able to tap in and resonate with different frequency. We definitely saw that. I think people, like you're saying, people that were somewhat aware or curious or intrigued or questioning certain things, I think they may be even more enlightened, that they may go more into that questioning mindset and more into, hey, I really want to see the true meaning behind things. But then on the opposite side, I also feel some people can be pulled into a numbness, so we have to be really careful of how we let these energy cycles affect us, because people that are focusing and dwelling on the negative, and the shame, the fear, the guilt, the lower vibrations, that is going to tend to be more attracted to you the more you're focusing in on that. So we have to be very aware of how we're focusing and how we're shifting. So yeah, anyone that was pulled into that fear or that psychosis of, is everything going to end? Is every an electronic grid going to shut down because of this eclipse? I think the media and everybody sensationalizes that, and you hear many different things around this. Are there evil entities trying to feed on the energy of fear? Do they feed off that? I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, we don't know on a spiritual level how these bulk energies and how this mass energy, whether it's hysteria or love, I think we do to some degree. We can see when there's mass meditations and people are putting that loving energy out, we see shifts in certain areas, certain towns, certain zip codes. They've done that, and they've actually studied it. And then you look at, not to get down like the rabbit hole of different CIA, scientific study or things they've done, but I know in the 50s, and I believe probably
that, 60s, exactly. Let's go down that rabbit hole.
They studied that, you know, and they would try to create like mass hysteria or psychosis into towns by false news reports or false radio reports. You know, this is a lot of this stuff was even before like color TV, before TV was in every household. So they would put information out there and see how people reacted to it, and then they would retract that information. So you saw a lot of, I would say, like psych op type things happening throughout society where people didn't even realize they were being experimented on to see how the mass psychosis of hysteria or chaotic energy can influence a mass surrounding area, and vice versa, how love and positive energy, the positive vibes, can completely shift an area. So really important to focus on our energy, focus on our vibration, be really aware of how our emotions and the emotions of those around us are affecting us. So truly, it's about love being the highest vibration, and I think we all want to attain that state, and I think that's the goal. And while we're on that journey, it's really important to just be aware of the energies and the frequencies around you.
Yeah, so in regard to what you just said, and then I want to tell you about a dream that I had, because we are going to speak about dreams tonight. I guess it was, I want to say it was in the 50s or the 60s, they originally only had news on for 15-minute clips, and it was almost an experiment. I think it was on CBS. I did a live video about this a few months ago, and they started out only having these live little 15-minute clips with the guy sitting at the desk, and he was talking directly to the camera. There was no beautiful studio and fancy clothes. And then it morphed into this crazy programming where there's shows just devoted to, in quotations I put, news, which to me, news is I don't know. I don't like the connotation around news now, because I don't really follow the news anymore, because it's just a repetitive cycle, and it is on a frequency, and they can put out this frequency, and people are almost hypnotized and put into a trance, hearing it over and over again, and then they go to their neighbor and they talk about it over and over again. I believe we should just have some kind of information, and information has to be personal. It's not based on someone feeding in through, I don't know, maybe a globalist agenda. Anyway, moving backwards or forward. Tonight we are speaking about, it's episode 12, April 11th, and tonight we are covering love and dreams. Of course, we will have some call-ins. I have some people holding right now. I have 6 callers holding. And we are going to be doing psychic readings, and I'm going to give a healing visualization, and it's going to be very exciting. So my dream following the solar eclipse, solar eclipse was Monday. I guess it was Tuesday night, I want to say, Tuesday night. I woke myself up, and I was with a large group of individuals who spoke Spanish. And I woke myself up, and I was with them speaking Spanish. Mind you, I've never taken Spanish. I don't know how to speak Spanish. And I thought, wow, I got into this frequency, and I can speak another language in my sleep. What do you think about that, Michael?
That's pretty cool. You were trancing into a different language.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's how it happens. There's moments where I'm writing music and I'll be in the zone, like I just came out of a meditation, and I'll be like, wow, I feel the shift in consciousness, and there'll be things that I wrote in like a semi-trance that I don't know how I wrote. I'm very thankful for it, because some of my pieces of music become very creative, and they actually take a different turn that I wasn't even anticipating, because I may go into a trance and start writing in that zone. So it's wild, but they say many, I guess, ancient cultures would tap into this, and that's when they would do like their vision quest, and that's how the elders of the village would obtain new information of maybe how to transition into planting new seeds or planting into a new area, or new cycles to capitalize on for growth and whatever they were doing. And it's interesting because they would document this stuff, and more often than not, it would shift the complete culture into, a different dynamic. So this has been around for a long time, and people have utilized it. Unfortunately, the last several centuries or so, we've gotten away from that. It's been controlled, been manipulated, it's been lost, a lot of it. And very fortunate that there's people like us out there that are bringing it back. It's so important. So important we get back to learning about this energy, learning about our psychic senses, learning about the frequencies and the resonant effect of energy on us. So important.
Well, you know what you're referring to is dream work. And they would sit and they would discuss what they would do, and they would also speak about what their dreams were, and they would pose a question to themselves and during their sleep, and hope it would take them to a place that would be good for their tribe, for where they would get food, a resource of water. And that was very common. Native Americans did what was called dream work. Now, is it okay if I launch into our subject tonight?
We can. Otherwise, we'll go off on a tangent talking about everything. So, yeah, you better do that.
No. Well, we are going to talk about dreams. So I'm going to just get into it about love, and then we can take a moment and talk about dreams again. So, everyone, I have to tell you that I'm really grateful that we had a week break, because a lot can transpire in our lives related to love and the importance of love. So love is a strong positive emotion characterized by deep affection with emotional and physical attachment. And the meaning of life, I believe, involves love. We express many questions. Will I find love? As psychics and intuitives, we are asked that question quite a bit. And some of the time we have listeners that call in asking, will I ever find love? And it is something that we all yearn for. To love is to care for yourself and truly love another. We acknowledge the different types of love by varying possible, maybe a friendship, romance, love for a friend, a family member, or a companion, spouse, partner, and that might include romantic intentions and feelings of attraction towards them. Each of us discover the evolution of love over time, the powerful bond between two individuals whose connection is unapparent by the human eye. We really can't see. I mean, sometimes you can see a couple and there's a spark there, and sometimes not. It's very internal. Love is complex. It's emotional, physical, and spiritual, which restores health and well-being or causes heartbreak. Have you ever felt love and everything just seems so much better, and you seem to be, I'm so full of energy, burst of energy? Or you can say, I want to retreat to my room or be alone and isolated because you are in pain. There is no control over love. It's chemistry, which feels like you cannot exist without the other person. What's wanting to be close to someone? The expression of emotions and feelings through gestures, words, actions, energies. And I would say unconditional love is an emotional, infinite consciousness. How would you cultivate love? Well, love is to nurture a connection with another human being, and it's shown through devotion, respect, understanding, forgiveness, affection. It's accepting their flaws, being caring, patient. You might sacrifice, or hopefully you sacrifice, giving, admiration, communication, trust, honesty, desire. Sometimes it's intimacy, passion, attachment, and self-love. To love another without expectation. To be happy for them. Compromising in situations. It's definitely speaking kindly of them and showing your real self. Now, unfortunately, love can be painful. While enduring a negative relationship, individuals might have feelings of abandonment, stress, anxiety, very well might experience broken commitments or endure health issues. We all need specific ways to be loved, and I'll give you some examples. Each of us like expressions of love. If someone says they don't feel loved, usually what they associate their love language to be is not being met. So here's the 5 love languages. Now, for a long time, this was number 1. Spoken words of affirmation such as a sincere praise or compliment or hearing "I love you." But more recently, number 2 I'm about to say has been taking the place of number 1. Most people, or the majority of people, say that quality time together doing activities without distraction is their choice of a love language. Number 3 is physical affection and touch, hugging, kissing, intimacy, or sex. 4, acts of service, which means that you do a task for the other person, like maybe a chore around the house. You might cook a dinner. You might fix something. Number 5 is giving gifts for a holiday, birthday, anniversary, or reminder of their deep feelings. My love language, I would have to say personally, is, all of those sound wonderful. I need to hear "I love you," and I definitely need affection. What about you, Michael?
Affection. Affection is good. Yeah.
We all need a hug. I need a hug.
We all need it. We all need a
few
hug.
Times.
No, I think when we look at the aspect of love, I don't think there's a clear-cut right or wrong way. I think it's very unique, very individual. I think we all experience it in a different way. And I think what a lot of people don't understand, and I think what I'm starting to learn to understand, is the way that we love and we need love isn't necessarily the way that the people around us need love or who we're with need love. Everyone has their own set of instructions that they need to go along with that, so it's a very individual thing. And I think it's a learning process. I don't think it's something that just happens. I think the initial thing, when we meet someone and there's that spark and we feel that energy of love and those emotions, and that person can't do any wrong and we want to do everything for that, that's the initial feeling and that's the sensation. But I think anyone that's been, through the roller coaster of love and relationships understands that it's not always like that, and it's a process. And it's a process in which we learn a lot about ourselves too. It's not just about a relationship and not just about that romantic connection with, our partner. I believe it goes way beyond. I believe it's a mindset. I believe it's how we try to approach. I think it's something we strive for, and I think it's an approach that we put aside our ego, and we've learned a lot about ourselves. And once we learn about our needs and what we need to have, we can then explore outwardly, and we can figure out what do those around us need, and then that can transcend from that. But it's a process, and I would say it's a very dynamic process that I think we're always learning, and it's morphing, it's changing, and it's a growing and learning experience. That's what I would say what love is, and it's something we're striving to attain at the highest level. And I think it's a process that unfolds, and not only does it unfold in relationships, but then it's something that spills over into everything we're doing. Whether it's a love and passion for our creativity, our work, what we're trying to accomplish in the world. It's a multifaceted machine that has many different aspects to it. I guess that's a big part of it. And a lot of it outside of the relationship and the connection is trying to get into a state of balance, a higher vibration, and have that loving resonant frequency exude from us. And I think we have to do a lot of internal work to get there. We all have bad days. We all have those moments, where we're driving. If you're driving in New Jersey like I am, there's moments you want to have a battering ram on your car and smash into somebody. Well, at least there's moments I do. But it's a work in progress, and I think we're always trying to attain that beautiful state of love, whether that's interconnected love with our relationship, if it's a loving passion that exudes from us in our creativity, if it's, there's many different aspects to this. I don't think it's a cut and dry, simple thing, although you did put a really great explanation on it. And, a lot of that resonates with me, and I think a lot of that would resonate with many people. But I believe that there's more to it than just that interpersonal relationship aspect of it.
In the last, I guess, and I just mentioned earlier, in the last few weeks, I've been turning inward, and I don't know if this is kind of affecting me in a way because our energy is combined at times, and also it's very positive for me, and I might just be happier in other realms of my life, and it might be bringing forward, but I'm starting to unblock some of the issues that I didn't even realize that I had, and that comes through self-love. And it's actually giving me more patience with others. It's giving me more kindness to others. And as I unblock myself through love to myself, I'm actually becoming, I think, a better person. In other words, I'm just finding that I just have more kindness in me. I mean, because maybe, how do I say it? It's like something is opening up, like a flower that's blooming. And I don't think there's a real cut and dry. I believe that everything is individual. Just like when you are speaking to someone and you're hearing their life, it's completely different than the guy next to him. You can't ever qualify that like a generalized answer for anything with anyone, because their experiences are going to be different. And what someone perceives love, I mean, for me, it's basically cherishing. And I love humanity, and I want good things for humanity. And I believe that as we raise ourselves to a higher consciousness, we are bringing more love, which is on the vibration scale, the frequency scale, it's 1,000, where anger, guilt, shame is 20, and up there next to love is forgiveness and compassion. And that's, I mean, in a best case scenario, we're striving to love others.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the goal. One interesting shift that I had outside of relationships, but just trying to approach things from a place in a state of love, was shifting my own psychic abilities, learning how to do this and growing up with this for many, many years. I used it for my own personal gain. I used it to help with relationships, negotiating, many different things. Even in my business, I used it for many self-serving aspects. And what had happened, there was a shift, and I started seeing that when I came from a place of love and I wanted to give back and I wanted to come from a place of service and do this to help others and not necessarily use it on a psychic level for self-serving interests to try to make money or grow a business, there was a complete shift in my overall energy. And it wasn't just in my membership. It was in most aspects of my life when I shifted from that self-serving mindset to a helping others and wanting to serve other mindset. So when we look at the aspects and the frequency of love, it's multifaceted in the sense that not only is this looking at your relationships and, your loved one, your family members, anyone around you that you want to try to approach in the best possible way you can, in the most loving way. But outside of that, it's how we approach life, how we approach, our work, what we feel our passions are, what we feel we can put into this world, our creations. And that also comes from a deep place of love and a place of beauty that needs to shine. So there's many aspects of this and many aspects of getting into that higher vibrational flow. But absolutely, that ground foundation is shifting our mindset, it's shifting our attitudes, shifting our emotions. And in that shift of the mindset, attitudes, and emotions, our focus shifts. And that's becoming more aware to the energy you can see around us. and we can shift our mindset into that frequency of love. That's part of the process. It's a multifaceted thing, and we have to look at how it affects many different areas of our life.
Well, I'm sending love out to all the listeners, and I'm wishing you well, and I'm hoping that in this moment you can ground yourself, and you're going to put all your weight in your bottom, and you're going to be in this moment, and you're going to have gratitude, and I'm going to tell you that I'm sending you love, and I want good things for you. Okay, so let's move on to dreams, and then we're going to get some callers. We're going to have a caller, and then I'm going to do a visualization, a healing visualization, and we're going to have a few more callers. How's that sound, Michael?
Cool. We could so we're going to go through some dream information
about some
first?
Dreams, yeah, and then in about 15 minutes, we're going to take our first caller, okay?
All right, everyone out there, start thinking about your questions.
Okay, our sleeping dreams. Why am I bringing this up? Well, I don't know if anyone out there knows that I actually wrote a dream journal, my personal diary of dreams, signs, symbols, and messages to guide me. And there's entries for 100 entries, and you can find it on Amazon. I am a firm believer to write down your dreams. What are your sleeping dreams? Well, they are an expression of your subconscious thoughts being visible in our mind as circumstances, images, and symbols. Dreams are a collection of thoughts remembered upon waking from sleep. A dream is your inner spirit identifying and giving awareness to a subject, person, location, memory, or future event. The true science about dreams is mostly up for discussion. Medical experts declare we dream 3 to 5, 6 times per night. Dreams are 5 to 20 minutes in length, and most people forget their dreams before leaving their bed. Dreams are helpful with memory preparation for the future, to develop capabilities and processing complex situations. Whether you realize it or not, they are very helpful for you. During the 5 stages of sleep, dreaming takes place in stage 5, the REM, which is your rapid eye movement, during which memory dreaming, brain development takes place, heart rate increases, blood pressure rises. REM is 20 to 25% of sleep time, and a person experiences this 4 times in 7 hours. The brain is very active, and there is an increased blood flow to the brain. So what are some types of dreams? There's prophetic dreams, which is predicting the future. I've had those. I'm sure many of you out there, you have a dream and you say, oh my gosh, I had a dream about that. Or you write it down, or you remember it because it's so vivid, and then it happens. There's what's called lucid dreams, which are very vivid dreams, and you're aware of them while you're sleeping and waking up. So it might occur before you go to sleep, might occur before you wake up, but they're very vivid. And sometimes you can even control what's going to happen in the dream, your lucid dreams. And we're going to get on to astral dreams in a minute. And then there's what's called recurring dreams, which is a progressive, continuous unfolding of dreams. And it seems like an episodic. You say, oh, I had a repeat of that dream, but it's really not. It's a continuation of the same dream. So it might be in that dream you're walking into a building, you're opening the door, and the next dream is you're walking into the building, opening the door, and then you're seeing someone. So pay attention. It's like an episodic TV show. And then, of course, we know nightmares. And you think, oh my gosh, this is the scariest dream. I'm being chased by this monster or dark figure, or maybe you're dying. However, our nightmares can be some kind of problem that we are solving. For example, many years ago, I don't say many, but in 2016, I remember I was having these dreams most of my life, and I was running. And I did the dream work, which is what we spoke about earlier. And I just said to myself, that's it. Tonight, I'm going to remind myself, when I'm sleeping, I'm not going to run anymore. And that night, I didn't run anymore. And guess what? Nothing was chasing me. And I opened up a whole nother avenue within me. So it's not necessarily as scary as you think, the nightmares. So Dreams are images and experiences we feel emotionally during sleep. Keeping the dream alive by recording the experience and interpreting its meaning brings awareness to the dreamer, like writing in a journal. It doesn't have to be as official as a dream journal. It can be just a piece of paper, or you can write it in a composition book. So writing about sleeping dreams is an acknowledgement of their importance, and subsequent patterns will emerge. This practical and reliable source naturally transforms you, and while bestowing the wisdom of your passions and true purpose, it's a personal glimpse of possible scenarios available to you. So keep a dream journal beside your bed to jot down your dreams, and it will help gain insight into your destined path. Now, I know you have a lot to tell me, Michael, and before we get on to what you're thinking about dreams, I just want to also mention astral dreams, which are astral projections. It's a soul's spiritual journey of travel from the body. So astral projection is an out-of-body experience. I don't know if you out there have ever had one. This experience may occur during a near-death experience or maybe when you're sick, which happens when the soul separates from the physical body. Your consciousness separates from the body, feeling vibrations. It's opening up chakras. Your heart is racing. The body is tingling. There's pressure and floating sensations. This is an energetic experience when your body drifts into a dreamlike state. If we realize we are dreaming, we are capable of changing the outcome. So maybe it might happen during an early morning. You're lying down, you're deeply relaxed in a dark room, and there's no outside noises. And you suddenly sink into relaxation. You reach a hypnotic state. Then you begin to feel waves of vibration, and you're sensing the soul leave your body. And if this happens, allow your mind to leave and your soul from your body and travel. All right, Michael.
The one thing I think people really need to understand about dreams is I feel two different significant aspects to it. One aspect in a dreamlike state is your body can communicate to you, almost through like a soul language. So many times if there's an undiagnosed ailment in the body, if there's something going on that you just can't figure out, in a dreamlike state, you really need to pay attention if certain things start coming to us, like an ailment, something about a body part, something about an organ. So if reoccurring things start coming to us and this information starts coming through in a dream state, pay attention to that because your body could be telling you something that's going on. Now, in regard to the other aspect of it is in the dreamlike state, the spirit realm can much more easily talk to us. They can speak to us in a dreamlike state, and they might be trying to speak to us now. I hear some kind of feedback or like another voice coming through somewhere on my headphones. I don't know if that's on our channel or if that's coming through on some of our equipment.
Maybe it's a spirit.
It's really weird. Do you hear that, or is that just on my end of like a voice talking? Almost like a shortwave radio.
No, I don't hear anything.
If you don't hear it, I'm hearing it on my end. So if anybody else is out there hearing it, just let us know when you hop on if we get you on as a caller. But yeah, some weird electronic stuff. Two psychics, weird electronic stuff going on. But I am hearing like little voices, like shortwave radio stuff. So maybe it's the spirit I'm trying to communicate to me when I'm not in a dreamlike state. No, but the spirit realm will take the opportunity in a dreamlike state to communicate to us. So many times in a reading, I'll have the spirit realm tell me, hey, I've been coming through to my daughter. I've been coming through to my wife. I've been coming through to my husband. And a lot of times I'll get very vivid visualization of what they were trying to convey in the dream. And a lot of times people have disregarded that, thought, oh, it was just a dream. No, don't disregard that. Many times the spirit realm will take that opportunity when the waking mind is shut down and we're not trying to process everything and analyze, and it opens and attunes us to these energetic realms, and it attunes us to this higher frequency of the spiritual language. And I do believe in that dreamlike state. They can communicate to us. They can try to give us messages. They reach out, and they want to give us comfort. They give us guidance. So do not discredit dreams. The other interesting thing about dreams and dreamlike state is it truly is about frequency about resonance, about energy, just like the aspect of love. But they do connect. Love and dreams absolutely connect. So if you look at the frequency of love and we're trying to get to that higher vibration, well, then we can look at brainwave frequencies in waking to dreamlike states and how they fluctuate and how the mind shuts down. So in the waking state, we're really trying to shift and we're trying to get that energy to a higher vibration so we can open and be more receptive to that love and we can be more giving of that love. But going through on an energetic level, we'll talk about some of the states of mind going into a dreamlike state. If we are doing complex actions and we're creating, we're thinking, the mind is working, we're in a gamma state, and that's usually 30 to 100 hertz. That is like a high-functioning complex action state. Then we could shift into a beta state, which is normal consciousness. That's a 12 to 30 hertz range. And then we start shifting somewhat into what you were talking about, Mary, that REM, that REM state. And that shift starts occurring, when we start going into that typical dreamlike state, it's an alpha state, and that's 8 to 12 hertz. And they say around 9 hertz is supposedly where the mediumship connection happens, where the spirit realm can kind of meet us in a frequency range. And that leads into, the 4 to 8 hertz is a theta pattern, it's a normal deep sleep pattern. And then it can shift into a really slow wave sleep, and that goes into a delta, and they say that's 0.05 to 4 hertz. And then a piston state, I believe it's called, and that's 0.0 to 0.05 hertz. And they're saying in those upper deep sleep realms are where the opening and the portals to an astral travel may occur. So a lot of energy connections and a lot of frequency variation. But in that 9 hertz space, which is that typical dreamlike state going into a normal deep sleep state, the alpha to theta, the 9 hertz is the sweet spot for mediums. So definitely correlating that to spirit being able to connect while we're in a dreamlike state makes complete sense. Absolutely makes complete sense. So do not discredit the information coming to you in dreams.
Yes, I really take it seriously, and I have piles of dream journals. And I started writing down my dreams, I think it was 2013, and sometimes I would have the same people from my past surface, and I would look at kind of the progress that I made, and it might very well have started out kind of on a negative front, and then as time went on, what's interesting is my dreams have taken on a role of the best case scenario with that person. If that makes any sense. It's almost like I reframed what happened, and it's turned out in a good way for me, because when you sleep and you wake up and you've had something that kind of alarmed you or caused you some kind of anxiety, it might penetrate your day where you wake up with some kind of weird negativity. But if you are sleeping and you have a positive dream or something feels good, for me, I wake up and I'm like, ready to go. And we can kind of caution ourselves before we go to sleep and try to get into a place of quiet and good thoughts, and that can actually help you before you go to sleep.
And I think one thing people have to understand too is what happens in our waking hours can absolutely influence our dreamlike state. So don't be alarmed if you were watching, a whole series of horror flicks, and all of a sudden you have a dream and someone's chasing you with a chainsaw trying to chop you up. I mean, look at things from a realistic perspective. So if you were in that type of situation, or you had a car accident and then you're frazzled by that and that reoccurs in a dreamlike state, those things will happen. And you need to be aware of that type of thing occurring. But on the flip side, there's absolutely a space in that dreamlike state that the spirit realm will communicate to us. I believe our soul on a deep level will communicate to us in regard to our body's health, things that may be going on psychically around us that it's trying to tune us into. So there's many aspects of listening and learning from what our body and what the spirit realm is trying to tell us in a dreamlike state.
Yes. All right. It's that time, everyone. I am going to tap onto this button here, and we are going to bring on someone for a psychic reading. Are you ready, Michael?
Yes, you know what? I am going to grab a pen and paper, because when I do mediumship, as things come to me, I write them. And sometimes I do an automated writing. I'll start writing things, or things come to me as I'm in the session that I'm not even aware of. So I look down and I get my pen and paper ready. And when someone's sitting with me for a reading, they do leave with a whole page of chicken scratch that they get to decipher and see what was going on. But it's the process. I am ready now.
Okie doke. All right, you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, let's see who this is. Hi, who's
Hello,
this?
Hi, this is Tasha.
Hi, Tasha. This is Mary and Michael. How are you tonight?
Hey, Tasha, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you? You guys?
Good. So where are you calling us from?
California.
California. Oh, nice. Nice. How's the weather out there? Just curious.
Oh, sunny.
Sunny? Oh, can't wait. That's coming to the Jersey Shore soon. The sun is coming soon. But what question did you have for us, Tasha?
Like any messages from spirit, anything that y'all pick up that I need to know?
Okay, so see if we can connect or possibly bring through some loved ones in spirit or what may be going on. So what we'll do, we're just going to open up an energy connection, and I'll start tapping into your energy field, and we'll see what comes through. So if you can slowly say your first name for me, just into the phone, and we want to connect on an energy level.
Okay, Tasha.
All right, Tasha. So immediately, as our energy connects, I do sense. So I have an older woman. I do believe this is on mom's side. I do believe this is grandma, and I do believe you lived with her for a period of time, or she helped raise you, or there's some strong connection, like motherly connection to her, and I do believe this is
she helped raise us.
What is that?
She helped raise me, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what she's showing me. She's showing me that, like, she helped raise you. She had a very big impact on you. She's talking about at the end of her life. She's talking about. I believe you were there with her. I don't know whether this was she passed in your house, or you were in the room with her when she passed. Whether this was a facility and you were in the room, but she's showing me you with her as she's passing.
Oh wow, for real? Because she's in the hospital when she passed away.
Who was around? Who was speaking? What? So let me ask you this then: when she was passing, when she was sick and she was in the process of leaving the physical world, so I don't know whether you were just on the phone with her. There's a connection. I'm seeing you either just spoke to her. There was some connection to you.
Yeah,
and I'm
speak to her. Yeah, I told her, I know you're tired, and it's okay for you to go, and we do love you.
Then that's what she's acknowledging. So in essence, I was seeing it as a connection of you with her physically, but it was on an energy level.
Before I told her that before she passed. After I told her that, she passed the next day.
Yeah, that's what she's talking about. Then I appreciate that confirmation. She's showing that you were speaking to her in regard, in that process of passing, and I do believe by you telling her that and you having that conversation with her, I think it was easier for her to let go. I do believe she was holding on for a period of time.
Exactly. I felt that. I felt like everybody was still holding on to her energetically, and I'm like, okay, everybody got to let her go so she could go.
Yeah, I mean, that's the energy I get from this, absolutely. Now,
and then when I was on, because what it was, I was on she was in the hospital bed. I was on the side of her left side. No, her right side, and I told her in her ear when I heard that, I said, I for some reason I said, "Mama," and then everybody's looking at me all shocked, like, we ain't heard her say that since she was a little baby.
So I have to ask this, as we're, not that I want to cut you off, but as we're speaking and as I'm connecting to your energy, I keep on hearing James Brown. Like, I keep on hearing, I feel good. Like, what's the...
What it is, the reason why she's showing that, because she met him at the airport. She had her fur meat on. It was black and gray. She had her gray hair, and she was standing right next to him with the picture. And I was like, hey,
so she's bringing me back to that moment in time. You know what's crazy about this though? Do you listen to James Brown, or do you ever hear? Do you have like the radio on of like oldies or anything where you would hear his music? Because I feel like she's talking about connecting to you through the music. I don't know if it's specifically James Brown,
okay,
but I do believe she's. I feel like she's so interesting. Were you a big Whitney Houston fan? What's the deal with Whitney Houston? Because she's talking about Whitney.
Yeah, well, mainly we grew up listening to Whitney Houston, but my sister was a major Whitney Houston fan.
Because she's like rocking that. The crazy thing is, so this is going to be a little kind of freaky to people out there, but I think she, in a funny way, understand in the spirit realm, there's no limits. Like, they can create the environment and the world they want to be in. I see her like literally jumping around, dancing, rocking out. She's having a party up there. You know, she's really enjoying it. I would say because she has mobility now. She's free of the physical constraints that were in this body.
Yeah.
And I would tell you, I think she's hanging out with some celebrities up there. And I normally don't bring this kind of thing through, but I feel like she's got, you know, she's got Whitney Houston up there. She's got James Brown. Like, she's got a lot of old school R&B guys and like really killer singers. Like, she was
to.
Yeah. Well, unless she's just bringing me to a point.
Every day.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. So no, when like you're rocking out, like when you're like really getting down and grooving and that music is pumping, like grandma's energy is vicariously living in those moments with you. Like she's funny. She's really hysterical. And the interesting thing about her so I don't know if is there like a brother or a younger male figure that's a singer? Who's the singer in the family? Younger boy, maybe not a boy now, maybe 30s, 40 years old. Who's the singer? Who writes the music?
Oh, in the family?
Is there someone around the family? I feel like she's talking about like the younger guy in the family that writes music or sings. I don't know if this is like gospel or
who that is.
Is there someone she's referring to in spirit? Was there a younger? So let me ask you. She might be. Was there a younger male around the family? I don't know if there's an M. I don't know if there's a.
The only person I can think she's picking up is my father. He's passed over. He was a singer. He played the piano. Singer. Yeah.
He write too. He was like R&B and wrote. But what's weird is did he pass when he was a lot younger? Was he pretty young when he passed?
Yeah, he's in his 50s.
All right, so that's what she's. So then. I'm seeing him young though. Like when he's coming through and I'm connected to his energy, like I feel like I'm seeing like a 30-something-year-old guy. Was he really like youthful and young looking?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so then that's how I'm seeing it. Like he looks way, way younger than even when he passed at 50. He's looking,
yeah.
Like he looks way younger, and he's coming through like he was, you know. I mean, he was charismatic. I pick up his energy of being very charismatic. He was definitely life of the party. He could definitely, you know, I think he definitely had some stories. He definitely had some stories, you know, and unfortunately, I do think, you know, he lived fast. You know, he definitely lived you know, he was probably like musician and, you know, he was that musician's lifestyle. You know, it could be a definite hard lifestyle on you physically, you know, but I think he really like when he was here, he really enjoyed the music too. I just get a sense, like all around your family, like the music is a very, very it's a divine connection. That's the only way I can put it. Is they really, I think, want to connect to you through the music, through the energy of the music. So that's what I would really look for. If there's a certain song, a certain like if you're asking them a question, Mom, I really need to know you're with me. Because that's what I feel.
What's going to happen with this poetry that I write? What's going to come out of that?
Might be the music too they're talking. Okay, so what's interesting? Let me backtrack a little bit, because when I was getting your father's energy, even coming through with the music and the writing, and because he was talking about the music. Let me ask you this: did he write songs? Do you have lyrics of his or music of his?
No, he never wrote. He never wrote music. He would sing the songs that he liked. He would say that gift of voice. Yeah, that gift of voice to sing. He could have been a gospel singer. He stuck with it, and an R&B singer. Then
he's got to be talking about that energy almost like flowing through you. So I feel like that, in a way, I do feel like he passed sooner. Certain lives, certain people come into this existence, and I do believe pass, even though it doesn't make sense. They pass early on. You don't know why, but they lived out their life. Whatever they were meant to incarnate for, they did, and they're taken from us, unfortunately. And it doesn't make sense. The interesting thing with your father, I do believe that he hastened it a little bit. I don't know what decisions. I don't know if he was partying a little bit or what happened around this. I don't know if he was not taking like health things serious, because I feel like a little heaviness in my lungs. I'm feeling a little heaviness in kidneys, liver. So I don't know what was going on, if he was sick at the end and it was just he wasn't getting the health care he needed, or he was kind of abusing his body a little bit. That's what I sense around this. Can you take any of that? Can you acknowledge any of that?
Well, for him, it was suicide.
Okay. So that's why I'm sensing it like this. That's why I'm sensing the body. Okay. Well, understand. I believe what I'm getting of the energy around him, I do believe he was dealing with a depression, or was dealing some kind of there could be alcohol involved. There could have been substance involved that almost had him out of his mindset. So I do believe for a long period of time there may be genetic disposition.
You picked it up correctly. Yeah.
What is it?
True. You picked that up exactly on point. That is exactly what happened.
Appreciate confirmation. That's the energy I get, and he is, and exactly him leaving early, him leaving before his time. So as we say, some people are here and they go early and they're meant to, but unfortunately for him, there was a lot going on, and that depression took him, and it took him early. Unfortunately, I do believe I believe he's remorseful for that, because I do think he really wasn't thinking outside of himself. I do believe the depression and the mental illness was taking him out of his rational mind, and he wasn't thinking about how this was going to affect the family, and affect the kids, affect the interpersonal dynamic of you guys. Because I do think he shows me that it did cause some disharmony. Is there two siblings? Is there sister, brother, sister?
Yep, you're right. We're
okay,
sisters.
That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the disharmony between the other brother and sister. So just know he's remorseful for that, and he's sorry. And I mean, there's nothing he can do at this point on that side other than support you and try to guide you and try to help bring that loving energy into the family dynamic. But he is very, very remorseful for that. I do believe he did not know the extent of what he was dealing with, and it just took him, and it's unfortunate. And some of the best people in this world go, and it doesn't make any sense.
He's forgiven for that. Like we already moved past that.
Yeah, I do. I feel the energy around you is forgiveness. I do sense that from you, and I do think that's the best mindset that you have to have, And I do want you to know, with him connecting on this level, you can absolutely connect to him. Like, part of why we do this and part of why we have the Two Psychics radio show is we want to empower people. Understand.
What intuitive abilities did I recently inherit?
I think we all have dominant and subdominant abilities, and we just have to experiment different things. And if you ever listen to the show and I take people through the apple exercise. So I'll take you through a quick exercise. Anyone out there that didn't hear the apple exercise of psychic development, and this was several episodes back, Tricia, I'm going to take you through. Or, it's Tasha. I'm going to take you through.
I've been working on mine through frequency. That's
You
why
are.
I was
So
asking you.
we're going to identify. We're going to identify your primary clair sense to see how you can start working. So hold your hand out. It doesn't matter if it's your left or right hand. Just hold either hand out, whichever one comes to you first. Hold it out right in front of you with your palm. And anybody out there that wants to practice this exercise can also do it. So you're holding your hand out with your palm up. Now I want you to envision, with your mind, envision an apple. Envision an apple in your hand, and you're holding this apple. Are you holding the apple, Tasha?
Yeah.
Okay, you're holding the apple. Now take a bite out of the apple. Now when you took the bite out of the apple, in your mind's eye, did you hear a crunch, or did you taste anything?
Salt.
Now let me ask you this. When I told you had an apple in your hand, what color apple did you see?
Red.
Oh, see that? So you saw it. Even though there wasn't an apple in your hand, you still saw a red apple in your mind's eye. Understand that type of energetic connection, that type of vision, seeing that in your mind's eye, in your third eye, that's how the spirit realm may connect to you. That may be the primary sense. So I would say clairvoyance is clear seeing. So you may see images, you may see numbers, you may things may be. Don't discredit that. That may be your primary clair sense. Now, secondary.
Okay.
Now, if you said, did you say you tasted it or you smelt it or what was it? You tasted salt, kind of?
Like
what was it?
It's like I took the bite of it, and the image of it was like the watery salt of the apple.
So check this out. You may get a clear knowing, so they may just imprint information on you. So if information just comes to you, so if you just get this vibe, this, that sixth sense, your gut instinct, it's telling you, boom, this, you have just pure knowledge. Knowledge is imprinted on you, the gift of knowledge. Okay. Don't discredit that, because that is a very, very powerful clair sense, and that's one that usually have to build to develop. Usually you're building among your other senses till you get that clear knowing, and then the spirit realm can just imprint the knowledge right on us, and it's pure soul-to-soul communication. But no.
So do I have what about the other two clairs? Do I have those?
They just develop. Yeah, just work with them. And you know what? On the show, we give out our information. So Eye of the Spirits with michaeledley.com. That's my Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, definitely follow it, because not too far out, I'm going to have some workshops, some classes, some different things that I'm taking people through to help harness these psychic powers and to help harness and learn abilities.
Question: what kind of psychic empath am I? Like, you know how they say that Hokoya and the other categories of the empath?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many variables to that. I think what you have to look at first, I think, is just start to sense the energy around you and start to sense how it's primarily coming to you. Are you hearing something? Are you seeing something in your mind's eye? Are you just knowing it? Are you feeling that sense? Are you tasting something? I've had people that say, my father was a bad cigar smoker, smoked cigars all the time, and when we go into this one room of the house or we go to this certain place, I smell his cigars. Well, no, that's a rarer sense. So just know that you have to start experiencing on a psychic level how the energy is coming to you, and then you start mapping it out, and then you just start developing it. So it's a process, but you absolutely have the gift. So you just need to tap into that and start working with it. It's very, very important. But Mary Amy, I've been going on for a little bit, and we had a pretty intense reading here. And I'm glad Tasha's father was able to come through, and I'm glad your grandma was able to through. But what are you gathering from this? What can you what do you have?
Well, I appreciate what you've just given, because it was very beneficial and productive. So Tasha, I received right away. I sense that you're ready for a party, and I saw a visual of lambs, which are pure and innocent, and it's a sign that you're moving into a new start of life, and you've made some sacrifices. And strangely enough, I saw spaghetti and tomatoes, like a dinner of spaghetti and tomato sauce, which is basically you have this passion within you, and you might have very well felt trapped. I saw you climbing some mountains, and you are looking for a new possibility, and you have a lot of ambition within you, and you are determined. That's what I was
Okay.
Very positive, like a lot of positivity going on with you. I mean, initially when I heard your voice, I knew that, and there's no downside. It's all up from here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And
Tasha, thank you so much. Just know you have that gift.
You do. You
Okay.
do. You just have that. You just have to open. And I'm giving a suggestion to focus on your breathing, do some meditation. And I know sometimes that's off-putting when I say that to people, and they're like, I don't want to do meditation. But it's not that complicated. You can just take moments. You don't have to sit there for hours. Just sit.
I've been doing it for years now, meditating and raising my vibration. Yeah.
Okay, good. You're all in then. We're in with you, Tasha. Thank you so much for listening. Joining us from California. That's wonderful. What time is it there? 5:30?
It is 5:35.
Okay, there you go. Well, blessings, and have a wonderful evening, and be well.
And send a little of that West Coast sunshine to the East Coast for us.
Okay.
Thanks, Tasha.
Right.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Boy, I'm getting a cold. It's coming on. I can't even help myself.
Tis the season of pollen. That's what I said. I couldn't believe the amount of stuff sprouting up and releasing pollen.
Okay, so I would like for a few moments to just do a quick visualization, and then I want you to share with us services and upcoming events, because we do have some guests who I want to mention. And then we'll bring some more callers on, because I'm continually getting more callers. I have someone that I already spoke to that I want to bring on, and then we'll maybe do one or two more after her. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Whatever we can. Make sure you put that timer on.
Yes.
Okay. My intention here is basically healing, and that's what I'm all about. And I love to do a visualization, which is guided mental imagery, and that serves us through our senses. And even if for a moment you take the time to listen and try to properly go through this and get into more or less the most deep relaxation that you can, it will benefit you, because it will slow your heart rate down. It will help you have more memory. It will get you to a place of patience and quiet within your being. And then when you do that, you literally expand your consciousness, expand your awareness, and those moments that maybe you are exhausted or you don't feel well, you can utilize this, and you won't realize that you will have already stretched yourself, and you'll have a place within you, and then you can gain more power and insight. Okay, so here we go. Blessings. Our intention today is to awaken our consciousness through a source of light. So let's realize connecting to our mind, body, spirit to divine light will shed darkness in yourself and unblock your true purpose and passion. Your light source visualization begins now. So what I'd like you to do is, and I'm suggesting, all these are suggestions, is to find a quiet space. Sit or lay down comfortably. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to remind yourself to put all your weight in your bottom. Okay? And the base of your spine, your root chakra, I would like you to imagine it heading down deeply into the earth's surface, because we want to ground ourselves. And then I would also like you to imagine your feet heading down into the earth, into the soil, the earth's surface, and wiggle your toes. Now, in regard to the rest of your body, let's begin to relax our arms, our legs, our torso, and our neck. And so we might move our neck around, our head around, open and close your mouth, open and close your hands, and maybe have all of your energy that you're carrying around, the tension and the stress that you've had throughout the day and the week, because here we are on Thursday in the Matrix work week, have it send down through your arms, out your fingers, and feel like a rag doll. I'd like you to push away any doubt that you can do this. Drop down into your physical vessel and focus on your breath. And so together, let's inhale and exhale 3 times, and we can have a 4 count. So you're inhaling 4 seconds, holding it for 4 seconds, and releasing 4 seconds. And this is just a way of letting yourself have more relaxation. The more you relax, the more you will receive. So let's do this together. We'll do it 3 times. Good. Now, hopefully you're a little bit more relaxed. You're having gratitude for this moment. You're in this moment. You're pushing away any doubt. It's not important what happened yesterday or 5 seconds ago or what's happening in this next few moments. It's right here. Let's be in this moment. So now that you've begun to relax your body and your mind, you're breathing out old energy and thought, and we're letting go. We're scanning our body for stress and tension from the top of our head, our crown chakra, to the tip of our toes. All right, so here we are together in this moment. You've expanded your awareness. You've increased your consciousness. And now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to imagine that you are standing on a green meadow. And on this green meadow, you're surrounded by flowers of vibrant colors, yellow and purple and red. And look, and you can smell them. You can sense their energy. And you can decide you want to bend down, reach down, and grab one. Before you do that, you pause. And you acknowledge their worth. They are living things in this universe. And you don't want to pull this flower from the field. You realize it's too beautiful to take, and you acknowledge the beauty of nature. So you leave it be. And now your attention is drawn to this extraordinary beam of light in the distance. You see this translucent light on the horizon, not giving off any heat, and this light calls to you. You begin to walk towards this light. And as you move closer, you're not sure how long this will take, but you know you are destined to reach this light. And you walk, and as you walk, each step you feel more free and more alive, and you understand the need for this presence in your life. This light is perfect, and it's flawless, and it's beautiful, and it's pure, and you are receiving this light. You are forgiven of everything that has gone wrong in your life, whether or not it's your responsibility or not. You are forgiven. And you are going to breathe out old hurt, anxiety, and fears. And you're going to breathe in the light. And you're going to allow its presence within your physical vessel, surrounding you in your human energy field. You accept it. You embrace it. And you stay in this moment of acceptance and contentment. And you realize, I'm in the right place. I'm exactly where I belong. And I'm perfect the way I am. So I'd like you to stay in this moment, in this light. And don't forget this moment. Remember it. Now you have this moment. You can make a wish. you choose to, make your wish. Now I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1. You will open your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Are you still there, Michael?
I am here. I'm here, much more relaxed and mellow.
Any way we can get there, right?
Yep. I was kind of going into my own little mediumship zone, not knowing what's going to come up in the next set of callers. So I was like, all right, well, we'll stay into the zone.
Good. So before we get on to the next caller, because we have a few holding and we want to bring some more on, I want everyone to hear what you have in the next few days, in the next few weeks, anything that you would like to share, and your contact info, please.
Yes, best way to get in touch with me, michaeledley.com. That is my website. And you can reach me on Facebook if you want to follow and like my Facebook page, Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley. I put all my stuff up on there. We have the Two Psychics radio show up on Facebook, too. That's another new page. We need to get some followers on that. Appreciate it. Any of you out there want to follow along? I have a couple cool things coming up. If you go to my Facebook page, pinned up towards the top, I have my Garden State Distillery event coming up. What is that? That is next month, May. I believe it's May 10th. I think that is. It's a Wednesday night. Great Reiki and readings event we're doing. We just finished up, had a large event last night, which was really cool. It's right here on the Jersey Shore called River Rock. It's a great event with Reiki practitioners, readers, and really, really fun right on the water. So this one is in downtown Toms River. So if you are in the area or you want to travel into the area, have the Garden State Distillery Reiki and readings event. You can find that on my Facebook page. And then anyone that's going to be in or wants to travel into New Jersey for Memorial Day over that 4-day weekend, have a really cool event coming up called the Touch Mother Earth Festival. And this is a 4-day event that covers many different things. Covers music, drum circles, workshops, classes. There's going to be energy healers. There's going to be vendors. There's going to be kitchen. It's a full-out, all-family event. It's 4 days. And the cool thing is that Friday night, I'm part of the opening ceremonies. I'm going to be doing a nice workshop and class on meditating and opening the chakra systems. And then on Memorial Day, Mary Amy will be coming down to the Jersey Shore to visit me, and we'll be doing a mediumship gallery. Really cool. It's going to be noontime at the Touch Mother Earth Festival. And we're going to be bringing everything we do on this Two Psychics show to a large group of people. So if you're out, you want to travel down to the Jersey Shore, you can actually see us live, and you maybe even get a reading if we put someone through for you. But yeah, mediumship gallery at the Touch Mother Earth Festival, and that's Memorial Day weekend, and it's going to be a good time. But Eye of the Spirits with Michael Edley on Facebook and michaeledley.com.
Yay! Okay, so we have some upcoming guests. Some of them are far, far away in their visit to us on Two Psychics. However, I'm going to mention it because it's confirmed. We have August 29th at 6:30. It's a Thursday. We have Daniel Stratton, and he is a very well-known channeler who channels archangels, and he's an Arcturian, an extraterrestrial channeler, and he's actually very well-known in circles because of his abilities. We also have Athena in Truth, who's a channeler, and I don't have the date, but I know I will in the next few days, and I'll post that. She's going to be visiting us and being a guest this month or next month. You can find me on all the social medias. My website is going to be up and running, I believe, tomorrow, maryamyofficial.com, and I have interviews and all the work I've done, and pretty extensive. I started it, 5 or 6 years ago. It's just been down. I changed my hosting platform. And so I'm really excited about that. You can also find I have 3 books online sold on Amazon. Just look up Mary Amy. And I do want to promote our Facebook page, Two Psychics Radio Show. I am so grateful for everyone out there and everyone who's joining us. And I hope that we are bringing something extra to, I guess, the internet. And we have now found ourselves on Spotify and iTunes, so you can find and listen to us. You don't have to go to Blog Talk Radio. You can just plug in your phone or add your headset, and you can listen to us on the iTunes or Spotify and a bunch of other platforms. So I'm happy about that. And what else is there? I think that's about it, Michael. I am excited about joining you on Memorial Day weekend. That's going to be so much fun. And
it's going to be good.
Oh my gosh, Michael and I know I've told everyone, we've known each other since my very first psychic fair in 2015. And he was a friend, an instant friend. We were obviously and have been vibrating on the same frequency, and here we are brought together. And I'm so, so grateful for Michael. He is a pure-hearted soul and spirit, and he's very positive, and you rarely meet people like this. I mean, the more and more of you that are becoming awakened, the more and more of us will kind of connect and find that there are those out there that we can find that we have a lot in common with. So thank you, Michael.
Yes, and thank you, Mary Amy. Yeah, kudos to you. Kudos to you and your phenomenal work ethic. I'll tell you, that's amazing how many platforms you've gotten us onto now. So what, Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, all over. So wherever you want to hear us, you can hear us now. And then you're always welcome to visit us for our live episodes on Blog Talk Radio right here. But yes, thank you for you and being you and everything you're doing. Really appreciate that.
Amazing. Okay, here we go. So everyone who's holding, stay holding because I will get to you. Here we go. I'm going to tap on and we're going to bring on, because we have 38 minutes, and we're going to bring on as many people as we can. Here we go. Hi, this is Mary and Michael. Who's this?
Hi, Mary and Michael. This is Cindy. Thank you for taking my call. I'm really enjoying the show.
Cindy, you've been holding from the very first second before we even began. Where are you coming from?
I'm calling from Florida.
Oh, well, welcome. Thanks for joining Be Psychic.
Thank you.
Yeah, what is up, Cindy? How are you? So is the sunny state of Florida as sunny as California right now, or what?
Well, we had some major storms move through during the night. It was pretty rough with high winds. So it's been pretty windy today, but the sun's back out, so it's kind of moving through.
So you'll have that nice tropical sun back again soon, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, we had it back this afternoon. The sun, it did come back out this afternoon. We still had like 18 to 20 mile per hour winds, but we had like 70 mile per hour winds coming through last night with some lightning storms and rain. Got a lot of rain.
I love Florida. I'll tell you, it's one of my favorite places to go. I had so cool experiences there. I haven't been there for quite some time, but what stands out in my mind is when I was there. This is going back quite a while. But I went horseback riding through the Everglades, and it was the coolest thing up until the point I saw a sign that was like, watch out for wild bobcats. And there was another one, watch out for, I don't know if it was like a lynx or a mountain lion. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, I did not anticipate seeing those signs. And that was an interesting horseback riding day.
Actually, I have horses. I have horses. I've had horses my whole life. But I didn't know they had horseback riding in the Everglades. I have gone fishing in the Everglades with some friends.
Yeah, it was wild. It was really a wild experience. I would love to get back and do it again. But so, Cindy, what question do you have for us?
Well, I was wondering if you could connect with someone in spirit. I have a lot of family. I've been sitting here praying as you were doing your readings and asking for somebody to come through and help me with some insight, some behind-the-scenes information on a current situation I have with someone I was in a relationship with. I thought was going to be a forever relationship, and we bought a property together. Anyways, I won't feed you a lot of information.
Yeah, we don't overload you. So let's do this. Let's just
overload you.
We don't want
need some help. I need some
less information you give us, the better
happened.
it's going to be. Yeah, absolutely. So give me your name slowly one time. We're just going to connect to your energy. If you can just give me that name one time slowly.
Cindy.
Okay, Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cindy, as I connect and open our energy fields, the interesting thing with you, I have younger energy stepping in. So I feel like this is brotherly or someone that would have been like a brother type connection. Definitely young. Like I feel like they would have passed younger. I'm not saying younger 30. I'm saying younger 50. 50s, mid 50s. This wasn't someone that was like 70, 80 years old. So I do feel a younger energy, male energy coming through.
Okay.
I feel like I'm either pulling to like a Rob or Bob. I don't know if there's a Robert, and I don't know if they're referring to someone here in the physical or someone there that this is their initial. But I'm being drawn to feel that R initial. I feel like they're bringing me to a Rob or a Bob. Can you take any of that connection? Younger male energy?
I don't know about the Rob or Bob, but there are two younger. Like I have a brother-in-law that passed when he was about 40, in his early 40s maybe.
Okay.
But then I had a very, very close friend that passed like right at 60.
Okay, so don't give me any more information. I want to bring this through. I want to see who I'm connecting to a little. Okay, so
thank you.
I mean, there's a lot of energy around you, but it's important. The younger male energy is definitely coming through more dominantly for me.
Okay.
I'm being drawn to. I'm not sure what the connection is. If this person was a mechanic or liked working on cars, but I'm getting, or they had this prize car. Who's the car guy? Because I'm with the car guy.
I've got chills from head to toe. Yes, that is the brother-in-law.
Okay, so that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the cars now.
And that you're freaking me out because somebody I think is involved in the situation I was asking you about was connected to him. So
okay,
cool.
I can't tell you exactly who I'm going to connect to, but when we connect, I can tell you it's important for me to be connecting to that specific person. So I can tell you, the brother energy, definitely brother-in-law. That's what he comes to me every time spirit comes through. I feel their energy to me in a certain way. Comes to me at a certain angle, literally a certain degree, and I feel it a certain way. And he's definitely talking about. He's coming in. He's talking about so the first thing he's talking about is something about. I don't know if there's some kind of contractual dispute around property or property ownership, and I believe this is real estate they're talking about, or land, something around that, dividing up property or someone fairly. I feel like someone wants to buy this property, and there's some kind of conflict over the price or who's going to get it at that price or how it's going to be split. There's some conflict. Like he's pulling me to conflict, and I do believe he's giving me the B, like the Bob Rob, as a positive influence around that situation. Can you confirm some kind of chaotic energy around real estate transfer or property?
Okay. I don't know who the Bob or Rob connection is, but
and the Bob or Rob,
there is a real estate. Yes.
Okay.
So the person I've been in the relationship with, and we're both living on the same property. We bought the property together. We were supposed to be spending our life together, but we were not yet married. All of a sudden, he turned vicious, and I knew there was somebody else involved, like that he was getting involved with behind the scenes, and he turned, everything changed. So there is now a situation because we purchased the property as joint owners with both of our names or our trust, and so now because of the split, like I've gotten no explanation, no truth, no apologies, no nothing. But I had to leave. Basically, we were both living in an RV on the property, and I moved out into a shed. It didn't even have electric yet, nothing. But I had boxes stored in because it got dangerous. So I'm turning it into a tiny home. It's it was already partially done inside. But so now we have a situation with needing to figure out what to do with the property. However, he's not discussing it. There's no communication. He won't discuss it with me. And he's acting like he's getting his vehicles ready to go back where he's from, which is Michigan, where he's originally from, which he would normally come down for the winter and go back for the summer. But he said he moved down here permanently when we bought this and made this move. I originally found the property, and I was getting it for my animals and horses and things. It's a couple acres.
So let me ask you this. Are you
ahead.
concerned in regard to him abandoning the property, abandoning the payments and his responsibility on the property? Like, is that a concern? Or do you feel him leaving or abandoning the property would benefit you?
Well, I think that's what he's fixing to do, which right now financially, I had a major injury and was out on medical leave out of work, which he actually then sabotaged. I got another place. And it was long story short, I'm part-time working right now. So it's going to be hard on me, but I know the good Lord, if he wants me here, will open up the doors. He has been opening the doors to keep me safe, and everything's been falling into place. I just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So he's very sneaky. He's been very deceitful.
So let me connect on the energy level, and then we'll bring Mary Amy in too to see what she's getting on this. But I do believe tonight there's a connecting line with some kind of substance abuse, and substance abuse truly bringing chaotic energy into somebody's mind. And I do believe it's double-edged.
I have been suspicious of that.
Now let me just share this with you. I'm reading this in your energy field, how this is affecting you. Normally, as a medium, I don't want to read other people's energy that are outside of who my sitter is, unless it's directly affecting them in a really bad, negative way. And your guide, your collective, is bringing it through to me. But immediately, there's a lot of male energy, and it's not that I'm not connecting to the female energy around you, but I could tell you the male energy is watching over you very, very strongly, especially the brotherly energy, the younger energy, the brother-in-law. They're definitely talking about you're moving too slow as far as getting representation or legal advice. So I don't know if you were apprehensive about talking to someone or actually getting legal advice, but you may want to solicit several free consultations to someone that specializes in this type of thing and truly see what they say, because I'm concerned from the energy I'm reading from your loved ones around you, they're concerned that this person is not mentally stable. You do not want to be in an environment where there could be physical alteration or physical threat. That's what I'm concerned for around this. This is what I read into this energy. So I have concerns that you may have to get some kind of legal protection or some kind of legal intervention for your safety, your protection, and for this to move in a smooth process so you're not in chaotic, discombobulated energy that is going to consume you and really pull you down, down with anxiety, with depression, with really negative energy. So you really have to take a positive, active role right now in trying to put the right pieces in place. So that's legal, so whether this is police protection, some type of restraining order if you feel you're threatened. But I'm concerned by the energy I'm reading around you and your loved one's energy they're showing me. I'm concerned for physical alteration or some kind of negative physical consequences. This person could be drinking, could be out of their mind, not even in the right mind that they know what they're doing, and could make some bad choices. So you need to take a proactive role in protecting yourself and protecting your vested interest in the property. And that's going to be in a legal manner. So, Mary Amy, what are you getting around this?
Okay, so I received quite a bit, and I'm going to kind of go through to start off with, and then I'll speak about the situation. So, hello, it's great talking to you. This is what I received. Hi. So, Cindy from Florida. I instantly received this swirling light it came through to me, which is illumination, and you have this understanding in the deeper meaning of life. And I just sense there's a lot of progress going on. The swirling light, and I immediately felt that and saw that. And that's illumination and intelligence. I sense that you are someone who's very stable, very grounded. You follow through. You do not edge into new ventures without knowing or learning about all the possibilities. You're very permanent. You don't jump. So I'm very sorry for this, what has happened, and I sense that there is a lot of pain surrounding the situation, and that you're somebody Be absolutely careful before you enter into any kind of opportunity. But I'm going to say to you that you are a very strong being, a survivor. You have angelic energy that surrounds you. And I know that you're stunned by this outcome, but you will survive this. And I'm hoping that you say to yourself, and I'm not making light of this, but say to yourself that I am safe. And you will overcome this. There's something here that you were supposed to receive. Now, I do agree with, and I hardly ever, and I hesitate saying this, but I do sense truth as well, that this person is not the one that you're referring to. Not good enough for you, sorry, and I don't usually say things like that, but not good enough for you, and it is someone that you should probably maintain a distance from, because the energy is precarious. This individual is someone that you would not be safe around. But you are safe because you are very, very aware. And you are a survivor, and you are very grounded and strong and stable. So this was some kind of lesson, the silver lining. I don't know what it is. I do know that you are protected by angelic energy. That's my input.
Okay. Can I?
Yeah.
So, two short, quick questions that came up. So, do you see him leaving soon and going back to Michigan? So it'll be peaceful. So I have an injury settlement coming in, and he was after the money. I've recently found out, and I think that's what he's hanging around for, to see when it comes in. Of course, I don't have any control of the exact time it comes, but I know it's got to be, it's going to be soon. Things are moving forward. I don't have a date. And he's got so many people, like he's trashing my name everywhere for no reason except I when I left his space and came over to the other building to live, I called in front of him. I called a family member that's in law enforcement, that I exposed everything that he was doing to me.
Good.
Everything that was going on. So something happened to me because I was really feeling unsafe.
Right.
And that's not something I normally do, call for help. So
right.
I called and exposed it all right in front of him so he knows. And I said, now, if something happens to me, they know what's going on and they know who to come after. He said, well, nothing's going to happen to you.
Good thing for you to do. It was definitely good to take that initiative. But I do believe at this point in time, you have to look at the actions, and these actions that you take are not good. These are very detrimental to you, and I think you really need to look at the consequences of staying connected to that negative energy for a long period of time. I feel it's just going to get worse and worse, and it's going to get more chaotic for you. I do believe right now you're at a point, you have that moment of separation, you have that energy fluctuation right now that I do believe will allow an exit point for you to get out of this relationship, out of this energy connection. But I do believe you have to move quick. I sense May as a very significant month for you, so I do believe a lot is going to happen in May. So I do believe these next several weeks you need to act quick. I do think you need to make the calls to bring in some kind of legal guidance around this, of what your possibilities are around this property, of getting this person either released to the property, getting the property released to you, or selling it. Whatever you need to do. This is a very, very negative, dysfunctional energy cycle around this person, and it's just going to get worse. And my concern for you is, does it get worse to the point where something bad happens, where he tries to go after you physically or physically harm you, or could there be some type of altercation, or even inadvertently this person is under the influence of some substance and makes some rash decision, and you get pushed or knocked down or injured? That's my concern around this. There's very unstable energy around this. I do see May as a pivotal point. Now, that pivotal point could be, hey, that person decides they're going to up and leave, or that's when this person is going to double down and try to make some kind of drastic negative impact on you. And unfortunately, there's so many variables around that, it's uncertain what direction that's going to go. But I can tell you May is going to be significant. And that's
that
where the
could
cycle
be when that could be when my settlement's coming in. And I would be happy to buy him out on his half, like he's making sarcastic comments of, I'm sure you're going to stick it to me on the property. It's in both of our names. I'm like, why would you say that? Or you're listening to other people feed stuff into your head. I've never done him wrong, but he has really put it over on me.
And see, that's the thing. You're a good soul. You have good energy. You're a loving person that wants to see good and see the best in others. And sometimes that can cloud us. I don't think you're truly seeing the, that evil. I don't want to say evil, but potentially this could turn really bad if you stick around and you don't have some kind of protection or something in place to make sure no harm can happen. So that's my concern. My concern is not that this person is evil or bad, but my concern is this person has influence from other substance that may alter their perception and their mental faculties, and we don't know where that's going to lead. So, I mean, unfortunately, I think you do need to make some hard decisions right now in order to remove yourself from this person. Even if it's temporary, that you find someone else that you can stay with, you can get him removed out of the property. Whatever it is, you need to distance yourself from that person's energy, and you need to start separating any connection to that person for your highest and best. And I don't mean to be blunt about it like that, but in your energy field, it's I don't like bringing through energy like this, but I do believe they're bringing through energy for your highest and best and for your protection. So I hope you move on this, and as far as being a legal representative, you get that in place and see what your options are around the property, and then make sure some kind of law enforcement, whether it's a family member, and I mean, that's a great person to have, but you need to really take the next and tell them, look, I'm very concerned. This is what this person's doing. It's negatively affecting me. It's mentally wearing on me, and now I'm concerned about physical altercation, physical threat, physical harm. So you need to take the next step.
He watches very closely when I come and go. He's retired. He doesn't work, so he just sits. He'll sit in that RV, and he'll sit there 2 or 3 days at a time. I'm pretty sure he was binging, because then he's like hungover, and when he does come out, he looks. But I've never asked him. I don't say anything, because he would pretend like he's Mr. Religious and Mr. Doing his prayer books. He has a candle burning on the couch, and I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
That's good. That's fine and dandy that he's doing that, but we have to look at his actions.
I'm not sure it's all good intentions. I think it's more,
Well, that's what you have to take a step back, and you have to look at the actions that person is facilitating. We can say the most loving things, but have the most hateful actions. You have to look at the actions and, take that for what it's worth.
I'm saying that's a show he puts on for everybody else. But then
you are very in tune to this. You have a psychic awareness, and you just need to tap into that and use that. I really think you know what I'm saying to you. I just think you needed to hear this as a confirmation.
Okay.
So,
now,
Cindy,
the brother-in-law that came through that you brought in, my sister that he was married to, and they have a boy that's now a teenager, my nephew. Is she involved with this? Because it's come to my enlightenment. I think they've been seeing each other instigate behind the scenes.
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not getting a clear-cut read on that, because there's a lot.
Okay.
I am sensing a lot.
He came in of all the people I have in spirit and family that I thought maybe that's why.
There's a lot. So I do get the sense, I do feel like they're talking to me about deception. So I do feel like you are being deceived in some way, shape, or form. So just be aware of that. There is deception going on. But Cindy, just make that hard call and really take care of yourself and look after yourself. So that's what you need to do. You need self-preservation right now. That's what needs to happen. But Mary Amy, I know you were trying.
Because my heart goes out to you, and I have concern, but I'm going to just break this down. It's twofold. One is the physical aspect of your safety, and then the other is the emotional. And I know it's very difficult. It's easier said than done when you have an emotional tie, because I believe when we started the phone call, I think you were asking about this relationship, and then you said someone else was involved. Is that correct?
I believe there are other people involved that's instigating this, and when he turned and flipped on the relationship and started getting ugly.
Right.
And I have my sister, which was the brother-in-law that came in, his wife. She's been very jealous of me and backstabbed me many times. And then they were, let's just say, I think he's in denial, but she ghosted me at the same time I told him, like, what's going on, because he kept wanting to go meet up with her and go see when we'd go to town and go. They were flirting, and they'd be, I'm in church, I'm holding my grandbaby, I go outside, they're out in the parking lot, on the backside parking lot, carrying on, and then she ghosted me at the same time.
I think you have to look at the actions. And again, Cindy, it's looking at the actions. Yeah,
There's financial, there's physical, there's emotional, and before we get off, because we're going to take we've been on for a while, I just want to say that you probably are going to have to separate yourself. And you mentioned something about him making phone calls, and that is not a concern of yours, because anyone who knows you and meets you knows what a good-hearted person you are. So just let that go, and maybe take some time. And is there a friend that you can stay with while this passes over, and to only give him information?
Yeah, I have nowhere to go to stay with anybody, and I have farm animals here. That's why I got the property. That's the only reason I was looking for this property. And I have horses, and I have nowhere to take them until my settlement comes in where I can do something different, or buy his half out of this. But in the meantime, like, he was getting his vehicles ready, like he was fixing to head back to Michigan, and I was hoping and praying that he would, that he would be willing to talk and discuss how we're going to settle the partnership and get out of it one way or the other and come to an agreement on it. But he hasn't wanted to talk about, there's been there's really been no communication as far as, because he doesn't want to take accountability for anything. So he just avoids conversation about any of it to resolve anything. Like, every once in a while he'll come out and he'll see me outside working with the animals, and he'll come out there. So I'm not living in a separate building on the same property. And he'll just make chit-chat and be nice, like he's trying to be friendly again. And I just, I'm polite, and that's it. And, but I don't trust him. And I know there's been a lot of deception and lies, and I don't know all the people involved that I have to watch out for. That's what I'm concerned about, watching my back.
Well, I'm wishing you and praying for you, and I really mean that.
Thank you so much.
I believe the best thing to do is to distance yourself as much as you can and be very vague with any information, because if his interest is in money, and he doesn't know he's going to be getting anytime soon, your settlement, then that's why he's sticking around. Maybe he'll get off and move out. And I think what this is bringing forth for me, it's the second time I received it, is next week we're going to talk about cord cutting. And that's something maybe you should look into, is cutting cords. And it's an energetic you have with this person's heart.
I've done that along with a whole bunch of spiritual warfare prayers, because I felt like he was sitting there doing candle magic and
oh, wow. Okay, good.
Trying to put spells on me. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot. Oh, yeah, I'm staying prayed up.
All right. Well, we're sending you blessings and love, and I want good things for you, Cindy, and I wish you the best. And please get back to us and tell us what happens here, because
thank you both so much.
All right. Well,
thank
love
you,
to you, Cindy.
All right, Cindy, we're wishing you well.
Thank you both. Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Michael, well, I'm going to grab somebody, because I know that went on, but I really feel that was something that we had to do, and I never feel that. I just, my heart is going out. It's like making me
a lot of tonight, I think Spirit is guiding us to try to help, on an energetic level, to the people that need it. And yeah, even if someone calls it and you think it's going to be a 5-minute question and ends up 15, 20 minutes, I think Spirit knows what's needed, so when we follow their guidance, it works out.
Okay, I am going to grab, let me see, who is the individual? I know someone's been hanging forever. Are they still here? Are they gone? Oh, my goodness. No. Let's see. I'm just going to grab the first one that I have here that looks like it's been holding the longest time, okay? And anybody else, please call back next week. Okay, Here we go.
The lucky caller is...
I just spoke with you. Hi, this is Cindy again. I just had my turn and spoke with you, but it dropped my call, and I wanted to listen to the rest of the show, so I called back.
There, she's back on hold. Okay, let's see. Let's try this number.
Hello?
Hi, this is Mary and Michael. Who's this?
Hi, this is Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth. How you doing?
Okay.
You're on the of the evening. We have 10 minutes, and it's all about you. What's going on?
Thank you. I am calling about my cat. He is my emotional support animal. He's my everything. And he was recently misdiagnosed by an emergency vet and almost died 2 days ago. He's doing much, much better. And I'm just wondering if he's going to be okay. He seems to be getting better.
So, Elizabeth, let's just connect on an energy level. So I just want first to say your name slowly. Say your name out loud slowly, and we'll connect on an energy level.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Now, can you tell me what specifically happened with your cat? What was the diagnosis? What was going on? And understand, we're not vets, we're not medical practitioners, but on an energy level, what comes to us, we will share with you.
Yes. He accidentally fell off the kitchen counter. My new cat was playing with him, and he fell backwards and hit his head. So he has a little bump on his head. And he had a fever, and I rushed him to the vet, and they told me he had no fever, he was fine. And then he got worse, and I rushed him to my regular vet, and they said he was misdiagnosed, and he should have gotten a steroid shot. And since he got the steroid shot, he's been completely fine for like 2 days now.
All right, so I have a couple questions for you. A couple of things are coming to me around this. So first off, how long have you had this cat?
10 years.
So it's an older cat. It's an older cat that you're familiar with. It wasn't a rescue that was just brought in. Was there any major change in the house? And what's the deal with the cat's food? Is the cat vomiting, diarrhea, anything like that? How has the cat been as far as eating its food?
No, he's eating fine.
Like, I only say that because I know I have my own animals. I'm very, very tied in and connected to my animals, but there's a lot going on. Obviously, your felon had an injury, but something for any animal lovers out there, any of our listeners that have dogs or cats, just be aware at some point over the last, I think we're going on a little over a year now, there's been a lot of weird dynamics going on with pet food in the pet food industry. They're having recalls, finding dog systems going into shock. Yeah. They're finding dogs, they're vomiting, diarrhea. So just anyone out there talking about animals and our love for animals, be aware that there are problems right now in the pet industry with different dog and cat foods. And they're not sure if it's an overabundance of certain vitamins or certain supplements. They're not sure to narrow it down, but a lot of your mainstream foods that you would find in your mainstream stores are having problems. So just to rule that out. So that's one thing we want to rule out is problems with what they're taking or came in contact with. Are you familiar? Oh, I'm sorry, what's that?
What's the name of the animal?
Oh, his name is Meow Meow.
Meow Meow, because it's important.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. Sorry to stop, sorry.
I see healing around the animal. I think it's good. So this is going to sound really bizarre on an energy level. I think quiet, make sure the cat's not getting harassed, make sure the cat gets recuperation and recovery, and I think you're good. For some reason, I'm just being called to tell you watch your cat's like breathing. So if you see that your cat has any kind of crazy labored breathing or something, I don't know. I'm just being drawn in your energy field to talk about your cat's breathing. Be observant with the breathing.
Yes.
So I don't know
Yes.
if they're bringing me to, we want to make sure there's no lung injury. We want to make sure there's nothing in that area, you know, that there could be a problem with. But that's what I'm being drawn to, is the lungs and breath. So as long as that's good, I think your cat is good in recovery. But I think that's what you need to pay attention to. Now, I have to ask, did you have a ferret? Was there a ferret or like a weird small animal? I'm not seeing a guinea, but I'm pretty sure I'm seeing a ferret. Did you have a ferret in the house, or were your
No.
cats? There wasn't a ferret. Was there another
No.
cat that looked like a weird looking cat that looked like a ferret, had ferret color, that would be in spirit around you?
No, but I recently adopted a cat that's black and has a white stripe up his nose.
I don't know why I'm seeing something that looks like a ferret in your energy field. So I don't know what I'm reading that. And I also saw, and like it was weird, like small animals were coming to me around you. Do you care for animals? Like, are you involved as like a vet tech, or involved in animal care, or?
Yeah, I've been in animal rescue for 10 years, and this cat
all right,
showed up
that's
on
why
my
I'm seeing it
doorstep.
Okay.
Yeah, this cat
okay.
showed up out of nowhere on my doorstep on Easter 2014. So he's
cool.
been, yeah.
That's funny. That's why I'm seeing all the different animals around you and in your energy field. What's interesting, I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't know from where or who you interacted with or who's around you that had a ferret, but there's a ferret in spirit in your energy field. And I do believe this is connected to younger female energy. So I don't know if there was a Katie, a Karen, a Kay. Are you familiar with a young female energy that would have passed? Someone you either went to school or college, or someone you were around that would have passed in a car accident or near a car, something in a car?
No. Mm-mm.
Interesting. I'm picking up, so there's younger female energy around you, and it's K. I'm getting a K initial. So just be aware of that. Just be aware, maybe a neighbor, a family friend. There's younger female energy that actually had a ferret that's either a happy Karen K. There's a heavy K connection to them. And I'm being pulled to, for some reason, you're calling, I'm not sure where you're calling from, but I'm being pulled when I connect to this energy to the northeast. And I'm being pulled to like Connecticut, Delaware, and I'm seeing like schooling there. So I don't know what this is and why it's in your energy field, but I just wanted to share that because I don't want to discredit it because it is coming through. Is there a connection to Connecticut or Delaware?
No, not at all.
Interesting. Unless I'm reading something for somebody else that's on the line waiting. So I don't know. But, yeah, it's weird. There's a younger female energy with the K around, and they're around. They're coming through to me right now. So I just wanted to share that with you. And since you can't take that, I'm going to pass this along to Mary Amy. And what are you getting, Mary?
So, Meow Meow, I have a couple questions. Has Meow Meow ever been hurt before or come close to death?
Yeah, he was poisoned by some bad cat food 5 years ago, and this doctor saved him.
Okay. And how was he after that, his health?
Perfectly fine.
Okay, so that's good. And, okay, that's very good. So my suggestion is to be sure that you give him more attention right now than the other animals so that he feels safer and he has, a reason to live, because animals decide when they just lose their interest in life. You probably know that, being an animal caretaker. Yes. And so just be sure you give extra attention so that he feels not slighted because this other animal kind of was the cause of it, maybe, or he lost his balance, whatever it is. Okay, that's my suggestion, and I appreciate you calling in. It's going to be over. So thank you so much for joining us, and wishing you well, and Meow Meow's better.
And Elizabeth, if you come across that K, female, younger energy that I'm connecting to, could be someone around your animal rescue. Just give us a call back and let us know if you come across that name. That person is definitely around you. They're still making their
Okay.
presence known to me. So I just have to share that. Could be someone you're
Wow.
tied into around work, and this could be someone that recently had passed.
Okay, be
Okay.
well. Bye-bye.
Right, thank you so much.
Okay, Michael, so thank you so much for this episode of number 12, Love and Dreams. And we will be back, everyone, again next week on Thursday. We've determined Thursday at 7:30 is our set time for now. And
It's official.
everyone be well. All right.
It's
Have a
it's
great
official.
night. It's official.
And we'll see you on episode 13. Thank you very
Episode
much.
13 next Thursday. Bye-bye.
This winter, countless dogs will be chained outside 24/7, shivering without adequate food, shelter, or care. All they know is life at the end of a chain that sometimes weighs more than they do. Your gift to PETA will provide life-changing care. PETA and you are often the only hope for neglected dogs. Your kindness can help a dog survive a bitter winter. Learn more at PETA.org/doghouse.
Looking for a fun way to unwind and win real cash? We got you. Try Solitaire Cash. Play the game you love with exciting cash prizes. Winning feels simply amazing. Challenging yourself feels even better. Whether you're a solitaire pro or just starting out, Solitaire Cash offers endless fun and real rewards. Join millions of like-minded players. Download the app and dive into the fun today. Solitaire Cash.
Play the game, play the game, play the game.
Winning is based on skill.